Okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is new program called 7 Days to Descript. So the first thing I'm going to show you, new program called 7 Days. And what this is a free course that you can sign up for on Gumroad. And every day for 7 days, you're going to get an email from me that is a curriculum to go from a beginner at Descript to Descript mastery, mastering Descript. And here's what the emails you'll get. Day 1 is about creating your first project, setting the aspect ratio, bringing in your files, things like that. Day 2 is about understanding layers, being able to change layer order, being able to manipulate layers, change properties, all of that type of thing. To manipulate layers, change properties. Okay. I always, this happens every day. I get nervous when I don't see or can't hear myself on the live stream. Day 3 is about editing audio. So how to use studio sound, how to use compressor, changing audio levels, editing out filler words, things like that. And then next you'll move on to the video editing. Things get a lot more complex once you go to video editing. And hang on, my stream is saying private. Why is that? Let me change this. Okay, now it's public. So I think no one joined until right now. Day 5 is about transitions, animations, and effects. This is where it starts to get into more advanced stuff. Transitions are things like adding a blur between the changing of scenes, and they help to signal to the viewer that the topic has changed. That's how I use them. Animations are things like, having a title pop out of the side, out of view, into view, having things pop up, having things like that. Changing size, changing opacity, all of that falls under animations. And then day 6 is about advanced skills, creating templates and creating sequences. Those are some of the hardest skills in Descript, but absolutely essential. Templates for being a fast editor, and sequence for being able to edit multi-person, multi-microphone, multi-camera, etc. Absolutely critical skill. And then the last day, once you've done everything, and there is a project, I assign you a project, so you'll be completing an actual project as you go. And if you have your own project, even better, feel free to work on that. But you'll have an assigned project, and then each day you build on it as you develop these skills in Descript. And by the end of the week, you're gonna be able to do 80% of, what it takes to be a good editor with Descript, a proficient editor with Descript. So that's it. You can come here, descriptmastery.gumroad.com. It's going to be in the link of this live stream. And all you got to do is sign in with your Gumroad account or create one if you don't have one. Type in a 0 right here. Say, I want this. And your emails will start the second you finish checkout. So that's it. A free course. So today, the topic of the day, and if you have questions, please leave them in the chat and I will get to those. But until I have questions, I'm just going to start riffing on using Descript's AI tools. So I did a video today, which you can go check out, and let me pull it up actually. It's called something about improving telepathy. I forgot what I named it exactly. Here it is. Improve your telepathy with this AI tool. And the idea behind it is the edit for clarity tool. Here's the video. I'll leave this in the chat. And what I demonstrate in this video is how to use the edit for clarity feature. I'm typing this into the chat, and video mentioned. Okay, it's in the chat. And the video on your screen right now is the behind the scenes. This is the actual edit that I did. And I only showed that one feature, edit for clarity, but I think hopefully I did a good job in this video of showing you the power of it. You could save hours of time on a rough cut, and basically a rough cut. That's what you could think of this tool as, is it'll get rid of filler words. It'll get rid of retakes, times where you repeat yourself, like you're reading a script and you said the wrong phrase or you said it with the wrong intonation. You want to give it another go. without stopping the camera, you can just do that and then edit it out in post. So a lot of uses for it, and we're going to talk about that today. But that is the video. It's in the chat. I put it on all the different streams. And feel free to leave comments as we go, comments and questions. So all of your AI features are going to be right here with this actions button. And you can start from scratch. And in fact, let's do that. Let's start from scratch and have AI write something completely brand new for us. So if I go to AI actions, the only thing I can do is this thing right here, other than add a new layer, is ask AI. And let me turn on my cursor real quick, cursor circle. So ask AI is going to be ChatGPT. You can just prompt this in plain English and it'll do what you ask. So, but by default, when you have a blank composition like this, you can have it write a script, you can have it outline a script, you can have it brainstorm ideas with me. So let's have it outline let's start with the brainstorm ideas. Let's start from complete scratch. So I'm gonna have it brainstorm ideas with me about creating videos with AI. I hit enter, it says AI is thinking, and it almost immediately spits out an answer, which I can't read it right now because this thing's in the way and I can't move it. But I can add it to my script or I can copy it to my clipboard. And it asked me a question at the end here. I'm just gonna copy it to my clipboard. I'm gonna paste it in here. Help in automating the creative process. How do you envision incorporating AI? Okay, let me be more specific with it because it was just asking a clarifying question. So I'm gonna go back to AI actions, ask AI, and I'm gonna say brainstorm ideas with me about creating videos using AI tools like ChatGPT, and I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, here's what I was looking for, where it lists ideas. And this is a good lesson because sometimes it doesn't give good answers or it gets confused or it needs clarification. And the quality of the output is the quality of your prompts. So the topics it came up with was ChatGPT in customer creation or content creation, ChatGPT in customer service, ChatGPT in education. So let's go with ChatGPT in content creation. And I'm just gonna copy that, Command C on my keyboard, and I'm gonna hit start over. And it takes me back to that prompt, but actually, sorry, I'm gonna go back to actions, then ask AI, and then I'm gonna say write a script. And here's the prompt that it uses for that. Draft a script that's meant to be spoken out loud and recorded about ... That's where I can paste in the thing that ChatGPT just wrote for me. So I just pasted in ChatGPT in content creation in the style of, and I could say, I don't know, a comedian, in the style of a comedian. I could be more specific, put in an actual name there or something, but I'm just trying to show you generally how this will work. For an audience of, let's say, video creators. And I'm gonna hit enter. AI is thinking. Sure thing, I've drafted a script in the style of a comedian for an audience of video creators. And then here is the script itself. And if you're happy with it, you can read through it. But if you don't like it, you could say start over, or you could copy it into a new composition, or I'm just gonna say add to script. And there it is. So what I can do now to actually turn this into spoken word audio is select a speaker, and I could select myself. I've already trained Descript on my voice, or I can say browse stock AI speakers, and I could pick one of these. Let's preview these.
Life is like a camera. Just focus on what's important. Capture the good times. Develop from the negatives. And if things don't work out, just take another shot.
All right, let's go with that. And so I'll just click on the name. And now what's gonna happen is it's gonna take that text, and I could have wrote my own text in here as well. It doesn't have to be the stuff that was generated by ChatGPT in this case. So this is completely open-ended, or you could paste from something else you've written in the past, paste that in there, and then it'll turn that into the script. And if I look at my timeline, there's nothing in here yet. Well, there's the words. Those are the words from the script, but there's no sound waves yet because we don't have the audio yet, which will be coming in just a moment when this is done processing. And let's just let that finish out. And while that's loading, I'm just going to go back to Ask AI and show you that, look at all these new features we have. So once you have content in there, before there was only the 3 things, brainstorm, outline, and write. Now we have, like, there's these categories. So edit, you got remove retakes, edit for clarity, add chapters or markers, find, publish, and write. So now we got a whole bunch of different stuff we can use to comb through our new script. And we could do, it's probably, if I do a lot of these, like edit for clarity, it's probably not going to work super well since this was written by AI. It's going to be very efficient. It's not going to have ums and filler words and things like that to remove. But let's see what it comes up with. AI is thinking. And you can see now down here now that it's done processing. It's in that we got the sound waves letting us know that there is audio there. And it didn't find anything. I'll show you later what it looks like when it does find something. There would be words crossed out, but we don't have that. So I'm just going to close that. That's kind of what I expected. Now, when you use the AI speaker, like I just did to overdub this, there's going to be that little A. You see that little A in the top left corner? That's letting me know that this is kind of in draft mode. I can revert this back, or I could change it. Like I could take a word, I could change hey to hi, or anything. I can make any edits here, and it'll just update the audio portion of this. But if this is good to go, if I'm happy with it, I can hit convert to audio. And now it's an audio layer like anything else. I can zoom in here. I can find the words. Like right here, there's a gap after the period there and the spotlight. I can click on a word and just drag it to close that gap. And now there won't be such a long pause there. Not that it was necessarily a bad pause, but just to show you what this is capable of. Here's kind of a long pause. Let's see how this sounds. I'm going to mute my own microphone.
So, why wait? Say goodbye to writer's block and hello to endless
So it actually did a good job there of creating a somewhat natural pause, because you don't want it to be too tightly together. If there was no pause with punctuation, then, I mean, humans don't speak like that, so it doesn't help to take those out. And you can see there's pauses along the way, and I'm seeing that because there's gaps on the clip where the sound waves aren't, where there are no sound waves. So that's letting me know that there's little pauses there. But anyways, let's go back to actions. Let's go back to Ask AI. And edit for clarity didn't really help us that time. There was, as I predicted, it's generated by AI, so it did a good enough job and didn't find anything bad. But here's a really useful one. Add chapters or markers. If you click on that, add chapters to this script, aim for ... chapters overall. And I could say, it's super short, so let me just say 2 chapters. I hit enter. And what this does is it created points of like specific topics inside of this script. And these big ones, the darker ones that say kickstarting your creativity with ChatGPT is one. And then the second one is the embracing the future of content creation. And if I like those, I can hit add to script. And you can see they're right here now, these dark bold ones here. And those also show up right here. And what these become is not only navigational, I can click on them and it'll scroll me to that point in the video. These also become chapters in YouTube. So if I go to publish and I go to, oh, it's not gonna let me, oh, I don't have any video in here. If I add a video, well, hang on, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna add a video and then you'll be able to see how this looks. So I went into my media bin, this thing right here at the top. This is where you can add all of your different files like videos, images, sound. So I just added a video from Descript stock library. I'm gonna go to publish, and now YouTube is an option now that I have some video in there. And here are those chapters. So it has the timestamp and then it has the name of the chapter. And when you publish this directly to YouTube, that would become the chapters that you see on the videos where the viewer can fast forward to those points in the video. They can click around and navigate easily. So Again, it's a really short video. This is only 38 seconds long, but imagine that you have a 2-hour podcast where you're covering a dozen different topics. This is a great way to make your video more viewable for people who might not be interested in the entire thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to actions. I'm gonna go to Ask AI. And again, that was the chapters or markers option right here, add chapters or markers. Remove filler words will find all the times in your script where you say or I don't know, whatever. So some people say so a lot, some people say and, all those kind of words that get used too much. It'll find those, identify them, and then give you an opportunity to remove them with AI. Shorten word gaps will find any point in your video. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. So you can set a time limit. Right now it defaults to 5 seconds. And it's looking for points in the video where there's 5 seconds without speech. And it's gonna point those out to me, give me a chance to review them, and then I can click this shorten button and it'll shorten it to 1 second. And it didn't find any, there's no gaps of greater than 5 seconds, but I could knock that down to 2 seconds. It didn't find anything. I could knock it down to 1 second, still didn't find anything, half a second. There we go, it found 4 of them. So I can click on these and I can, when
Create
I click
next.
on it,
Well, let me introduce.
it plays it. It plays like a second before, it plays the pause, and then it plays a second after, just to make sure that's an area you want to remove. And if it is, I could shorten it. And right now it's shortening to 0.5 seconds, so it's not really a shorten at all, but I could shorten it to 0.1 second. So from 0.5 to 0.1, I could click shorten, and it just did it. It took it out, and you can see a split down here in the timeline.
Yes, you heard it right.
And it automatically played the next gap as well. And if I wanted to just blanket remove all of these, just apply this shorten feature to all those gaps in my video, I could just hit this shorten all button and they're gone. And then let's go back to AI actions, ask AI. So again, that was the shorten word gaps. Remove filler words is very similar to that interface that you just saw, where it'll allow you to remove each filler word individually, or you can do all of them at once at the same time with the click of a button. Super useful tools. Yeah, these top 5 are the top 5 for a reason. These are the ones that most people are probably going to use the most. Now the next one, find good clips. This will use AI to find points that it think can make a standalone social media clip. And again, my video is really short, so it's already like only the length of a social media clip. But if you had a 2-hour podcast, there might be 20 different 1-minute clips in there, little standalone stories or interesting moments that it'll find, and then you can make those into social media clips. You could do find when, you could do find all highlights. That is if you have, like, you highlight a section, you make it a certain color, and then you can do different colors like that. And actually, sorry, I'm doing the wrong thing. Find all highlights is going to generally, the prompt is find all highlights in this video that collectively cover all its key topics. So I'm went off in 2 different directions there. The physical highlight of changing the color of some text is different than this is talking about finding like key moments in the video, which let's see how it does. We couldn't find any clips for you. Please try again. So it's probably too short. There's just nothing notable. Let's go back to Ask AI. And with the publish, this stuff is interesting. So you can see the bottom one here is YouTube description. So I could, when I click on it, the prompt is draft a YouTube style description for this. And I could make it more specific, like keep it under X amount of words, make it funny, make it serious, make it professional, and then it would do that. But I'm gonna hit enter, AI is thinking, and it puts the time, oh, that's the timestamps from before. So here's the prompts, or the description that it came up with. This script introduces a discussion on effective strategies to overcome writer's block, yada, yada, yada. And if I like it, I can't apply this to my script as we saw before because that's not its purpose. So the thing I can do here is copy to clipboard. And then now I could paste this into I could paste it here when I go to publish it to YouTube. So the default one is this is a video about, and then the name of the video. But I could just replace that hit Command V and paste in the description that it came up with. And I think this is the title it came up with. So I could put that in here as well, paste that, and the title would be Overcoming Writer's Block, Tips and Tricks. So that would all just go straight into YouTube. And then you can set your category. You can set tags, which is the next thing I'm going to show you. You could, it doesn't have a default prompt for that. So this will be an example of a custom prompt. In that box right there, I could say generate tags for this video for YouTube. They should be relevant, comma separated, and less than 500 characters. And I got a comment in the chat. Does Ask AI on? Okay, you retracted it. Let's see what. And we can extract some keywords. So this didn't do a very good job, but it's hit or miss. Let's start over. Let's see if we can do it again. Let's just run it again with the same prompt. So here we go. It created some prompts or some tags. The problem is they're in quotation marks, so that doesn't really help us. We need to have them just be comma separated, no quotation marks. So I could be more specific. Do not include quotation marks. And now it numbered it. Great. So it's not doing a great job with the tags, but you get the idea that you can make your own custom prompts and put in whatever you want. Back to actions, back to Ask AI. You could do improve and rewrite script. And here's the prompt for that. Improve the writing and rewrite a draft of this as a script that can be spoken out loud and recorded, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll just hit that. Okay, the question in the chat is, does Ask AI only work in English or in other languages too? I didn't try it until now. That is a very good question. I think it will work in other languages because I've used ChatGPT for, if you've used ChatGPT, then you'll be familiar with how this works in the sense that I could say, let's do a start over, and then I could say, give me the answer in German. Let's see how it does. And there we go. I don't know if this is proper German, but it's definitely not English. And you could prompt it in a different language as well, and it would be able to understand that. Now, yeah, you're bound to the limitations of how good ChatGPT is in those other languages. So yeah, I think the bulk of the development has been done in English, and the bulk of the internet content that these things are trained on is in English. So it's going to be most accurate in English, but it is capable definitely of other languages. And then I could say, so that was the improve and rewrite script. I could do shorten this. It's already really short. I could say expand on this, draft an updated script that expands further on the topics contained. And I could hit enter and it'll go. Yeah, definitely give it a try and let me know how it works for you. And you can also change, assuming you've already created a Descript account and everything, you can change your Descript to a different language in settings, and then, well, there's a transcription language, but in your settings, you could change the whole app to another language, and that might help it as well. These prompts might default to the other language. I don't know. I haven't tried. Okay, let's see. Let's add to script. Let's see what it came up with. So here's the new stuff it came up with, the blue part down here. And I can label this. It won't turn it into an AI voice until I have it labeled. I have to assign a speaker to it. And the way I do that is with the @ sign. So that's Shift-2 on a US keyboard. And it prompts me for the name of the person. And there's Monica. That's the one I assigned above. It's one of the stock voices. Or I can use myself. I've trained it on myself. but let's give it a different one. Let's do like a British, let's do Australian, Duncan. And now we're going to see that pulse to let us know it's loading. There's a little spinning thing. And then in a moment, we're going to hear Duncan reading that script. While it's working on that, back to Ask AI. I could have it rewrite the script altogether. You could have it write back in the publish category. You could have it write social posts. You could have it suggest a title. Let's do that. Suggest some options for a title. You could also replace the word some with 15. Suggest 15 options for a title, and let's hit enter. Creativity unleashed, ChatGPT magic, yada, yada, yada. 15 different options. In the chat, there are still a lot of features that don't work in other languages, like filler word, overdub, and so on. French speaking user here. Yeah, sorry about that. Hopefully it'll come soon. Yeah, I'd imagine it's not far away. I think all of this stuff is so new, it's crazy that we didn't even have this a year and a half ago, and now we have it at all. So I'm sure that they'll be rolling out, especially major languages like French, very, very quickly here. So yeah, you could just take one of these, and personally, I don't like these names. They're too obviously AI. AI does this thing where it's like creativity unleashed, ChatGPT magic, ChatGPT, your gateway to endless ideas. So you could copy these if you liked it, and then use that as your YouTube idea, but I'm not going to. Okay, so that was the gist of all of that stuff. Now I'm going to show you back to a really long video. This one it's not that long, 7 minutes, 27 seconds. And what I did, actually, sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm gonna start a new composition, and I'm gonna bring that file in again because it had a bunch of filler words and chances for retakes. So I'm gonna go to media, I'm gonna go to files, and remember, files are shared among the projects. So Becoming Telepathic has all of the same files that are used in these other 3 compositions will be inside of here. And here is the 14-minute video that I'm going to add. So I click on that, I say insert into script, and it's already transcribed. That also transfers over from the other videos. And so this one is going to have a lot of stuff to find. If I go to Ask AI and I say edit for clarity, edit this down to remove any speech disfluencies, repeated sections, and tangents that distract from the core ideas. And I hit enter. And again, I did a video about this today. This was the video that I created this morning. So if you want to deep dive on the edit for clarity feature, that video is linked at the top of the chat message in this live stream here. Okay, so what this edit for clarity did is with the retake, it found a sentence right here where I said the quote wrong, or I said it with the wrong tone of voice. And so I said it a second time, and it identified that first one was incorrect. And so it put that line through it to let me know that it identified that and it wants to get rid of it. And then I can scroll through the entire script. There's another line that it wants to get rid of. There's a filler word, the word repeated words, the word so. So it looks like it did a pretty good job. And if I'm happy with this, I could just hit apply edits to script. As soon as I click on that, there it is. It crossed out that word or that line, that first original retake. And that is called ignoring when it stays there on the transcript. So if I close this, let me open up my timeline. It removed it from my transcript, it removed it from my timeline down here. So it's gone from the video. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to see it. But you can read it here on the timeline with the line through it so that you can maintain awareness of it. Because if that wasn't a change I wanted to make, like let me find a filler word. So right here where there's an removed, maybe it clips my voice. Maybe my voice gets abruptly cut off. What I could do is undo that particular change and restore that word, and now it's back, and it'll sound a lot more smooth, even with that filler word in there. And then So that's my rough cut right there. That would have taken a long time previously without this tool. I would have had to play through it, stop it, make a change, listen to it, you know, that whole process. But and I still will have to do that. I'm gonna have to play through it, but a lot of the heavy lifting has been done, and now it's gonna be more of a role of undoing what's been done for case by case basis if it's too abrupt. So yeah, that's a lot of changes that were made here. It went from a 14-minute video down to a 12-minute and 40-second video. So it cut off quite a bit of content, and it's all nonsense. I mean, and that was the purpose when I made this, when I shot this, it was an unscripted thing where I was intentionally going off on tangents and using filler words so that I could test this feature for the purposes of this tutorial. And then, okay, so that was Edit for Clarity. Ask AI, remove retakes. The prompt is detect and delete all the repeated takes from this recording. That's a little bit redundant since we already did that with the Edit for Clarity, but let's see if it comes up with anything. And please feel free to leave more questions in the chat if they come up. And it doesn't have to be about AI. We can go in any direction at all. Totally fine. AI is thinking. Or if you have any use cases or ways that we could test AI, I'd be happy to try it here live, see what we can get out of this bad boy. So you can see that the changes previously made are still in there. So I'm not even going to be able to tell if something different happened with the that particular prompt. So, but anyways, if you wanted to do just that, just looking for retakes without the Edit for Clarity, that would be a more specific task to give it. And then let's do find good clips now. Find good clips now that we have a longer video. Find 5 options is the default prompt. For clips I can pull from this script. Each clip should be around 30 seconds long. And I'll hit enter. And again, it's looking for clips that have a standalone point or a standalone story that could make for a good TikTok, Instagram reel, YouTube short, etc. And then I'll show you a really fast and easy way to make those, since shorts often have YouTube shorts always have portrait mode instead of the landscape mode. Oh, and we couldn't find any clips for you. Please try again. But it still says AI is thinking. This is unusual. I'll just give it a few more seconds. Let's see what it does. Nah, I'm not gonna waste any more time on that. Maybe I'll try it one more time. Let's see if it'll work. AI is thinking. And that's the thing too, is it's random. Like sometimes it can give you really good results. You run sometimes it doesn't, and you run the prompt again and it gives you a totally different output. So it's a tool that, just like anything, there's a learning curve to it, and you get better at using it. You get better at prompting it. And check it out, that same prompt, this time it came up with clips. So what's displayed here is the clips that it came up with, and I can do select in script, and notice how it highlighted those things that it identified as good clips, and they're also here on the right side. And there's this thing that says duplicate to new composition, and I could duplicate just that one, the one that's currently selected in orange, or I could say duplicate all, which I'm going to do, and then it says selection added to new composition. I'll hit open, and now I'm in here, and these are my these five scenes on the left. Those are the 5 clips that it identified. And so let me just take this first one. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to say copy layout, and then I'm going to go to a new composition. I'm going to paste it in here, and there it is. That's just that one clip that it identified. And what I could do to quickly convert this to a YouTube short is here at the top left, this is your aspect ratio, and it's currently in landscape. But in order for this to be a YouTube short or even TikTok, we're going to need to make it portrait. So there we go. And then now it's really small. We have these black bars on the top and bottom. So if I click on the image and I say position, fill canvas, now that's put me in the center like that. And there's still some blank space above my head. So what I'm gonna do is grab this purple border around the image and drag it up. And that helps me fill the whole thing. And now let's take a look at what it actually came up with. I haven't even checked it for quality. Stephen King says the writing's telepathy, yada, yada, yada. I think this would be a great short. Yeah, honestly, it's got a standalone message, and then I could just go to publish, and I could publish it straight to YouTube, just like that. And of course, I could add captions to it, which I can just do right here, this little title thing at the top, and I say captions, and there are some captions. And that's going to read off of this transcript right here. King says that writing is telepathy. Like that. Back to our clips. So I could do the same thing with each of these. I could turn each of these into a social media clip if it did a good job identifying those. And then let's go back. So again, that was find good clips. That was actions, ask AI, find good clips. Find when. Oh, this is interesting. So the prompt is find all the paragraphs or sentences by ... about ... So you could ask it to find something that was said by a specific speaker. So if you had like a podcast interview and there's Jim and Steve, and you could ask it to find all the paragraphs or sentences by Jim where he was talking about that funny joke he told about his day at the grocery store or whatever, and it'll search through your script, find that, highlight it for you, and then it's a lot faster than trying to read through a 2 or 3 hour podcast if that's what you have. Back to actions, ask AI. We already saw a lot of these published ones. I guess the next thing I could go into is blog post. Draft a blog post based on this script. Make sure to include a title, write out the full body of the blog post, and include headers if necessary. I'll hit enter. There's the title, Unleashing the Mystique of Siberian Huskies, a comprehensive guide. And it's got it's broken down into sections: introduction, section 1, section 2. So that's interesting. I don't know if I would use this on a blog. I don't know, but it's a starting point and it's cool. So close that. Actions, ask AI. Show notes. If this is a podcast, like you're building the show notes, you're writing the show notes for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, something like that. Here's the prompt. It says draft podcast style show notes for this. Hit enter. AI is thinking. And we'll just give it a moment. So here's the show notes it came up with, including timestamps. This video delves into the significance of clear communication in content creation, highlighting a tool called Edit for Clarity built into Descript, yada, yada, yada. And then back to Ask AI. What have we not done so far? We've done suggest title. Summarize. We do summarize. What's a short summary of this script? Hit enter. AI is thinking. The script discusses the concept of writing as telepathy, emphasizing the importance of clear communication. Yeah, not bad. So it just summarizes this long video into about a paragraph. And then, okay, so that is the AI tools, Ask AI tools. Let's go into some other stuff that we can do with this. So here it's finished with our Duncan, creating Duncan as a speaker. And I actually made a tutorial for this where you can, what I'm about to show you, which is adding B-roll to this AI content. So right here where it says save goodbye to writer's block, I'm gonna highlight that word, that portion, and I'm gonna say add layer. And I'm gonna come down to videos, And I'm going to say, let me just type in goodbye. Let's see. I can probably find some people waving or, yeah, right there. Let's click on that. And it added that video, this layer right here, over the portion I had selected. So it's going to say goodbye to writer's block. And then it goes on to say, and hello to endless possibilities with ChatGPT. So I'll say add layer, and let's do hello. And let's see if I can do like hello robot. Let's see if there's like a, yeah, like that. And now that layer is over that. And here's what that sounds like. I'm going to mute myself for a moment.
Say goodbye to writer's block and hello to endless possibilities with ChatBot, your new best friend.
It doesn't read ChatGPT very well, but you can see, oh no, it was super small. Sorry, the video portion of it was, can't really see it, but you get the idea. And then your new best friend, let's do best friend. Let's see if we can find, and let's do robot, best friend robot. Let's do friend robot. This is another, let's see what it came up with here. Yeah, that's a good one. And so the point is you can make a totally AI, the script, the idea for this was generated by AI, the script was generated by AI, and then I'm going through and making it interesting, visually interesting, by adding B-roll over what's being said in the script by just selecting that portion and then hitting add new layer. And it doesn't just have to be the B-roll. This is Descript's stock footage. In add new layer, you can add your own content. If you go to files, and then it could be a video of you, it could be a video of that you took, whatever. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. It's the same principle. And that was a big time saver when I learned about that you could just highlight the portions where you want to add something. Let's see here. So yeah, we've got all that stuff generated. We've added some visual components to it. Showing you all the published features. I think we've been through just about everything. Yeah. In the comments, someone said the add layer part is so much faster. It absolutely is. That's why I was when I learned about it, I was like, wow, it's awesome. The other cool thing I'm going to show you along those lines, my other big like aha moment with Descript was the hotkeys Z, X, and C. So if you hold the letter C and you click on something like introduce here, it automatically goes into correct mode. So I could change that to like introduce, spell it, and then I could just hit correct and it's done. X, if I hold it, notice how there's that like period and comma underneath my cursor. If I click on a word, like this word well has a comma after it, if I click on it, it takes it away. Click on it again, adds a period. Click on it again, turns into a comma. And not only that, but notice that it changes the letter after it. So when it's a comma, L is lowercase. When it's a period, L is the start of a new sentence and it capitalizes it. So that's a super convenient way if you use your transcript, if you either publish your transcript as a blog or you use captions and you need your transcript to be correct. The last hotkey is Z. And Z, notice my cursor, I'm holding it down right now. My cursor has a capital A and a lowercase a. And so right now that letter L is capitalized. If I click on it, it cycles through to lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase. Yeah, so if it's important to your workflow that your transcript be correct, that's a powerful time saver. So yeah, I've shown you a lot today with all those AI tools, these transcript tools. Any questions? I see we got about 3 people on right now on the YouTube. You can search in script. That'll just search for like if you type in a specific keyword or something like that. Show notes and YouTube description. The question in the chat is, have I noticed a significant difference between show notes and YouTube description? And I haven't used either enough to tell you with definitively. Let's see. Show notes looked like it was more like YouTube description. Let's run it again. It kind of takes the style of a YouTube description, and that has the timestamps in there. So they like podcast descriptions tend to be very short and to the point. And so I think it probably will recreate that. Let's see what it comes up with. Let's do it again. So that the one I just did was YouTube description. Let's try show notes. And see how it says podcast style? And you could even say like draft podcast style in the style of an NPR podcast or Joe Rogan podcast. And then it would, because Joe Rogan would just be like very to the point. It's just like show number 2000 with Duncan Trussell or whatever. So I'll hit enter. AI is thinking. It looks pretty similar in length without reading it. It's one difference is it says this script. The YouTube one said this video. So yeah, you'd have to play with it, and you can always just use it as a starting point to dial in your specific style of show note or YouTube description. I don't think I did social post. Draft some options for text posts I could post on social media to promote this. Suggest some specific posts I could make and give me a few options. And you could say, it would probably help to say the intended platform is LinkedIn or the intended platform is Twitter. I'll say this is for Twitter, because then it'll be obviously shorter than if it's on something else. And AI always does this. It adds in a bunch of emojis. And when I see that on LinkedIn or something, I'm like, oh, obviously that's written by AI. But it thinks this is clever. And you could tell it, I could say start over. This is for Twitter. Do not use emojis. There we go. And it still adds hashtags though too. That's the other thing. The other give that it's clearly ChatGPT generated. It's funny, there's certain words like the phrase, it's important to note. ChatGPT always includes that. So if I see that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's not written by a human. What else? The last thing, well, maybe not. We got about 10 more minutes. If anyone has questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But the next thing I want to show you is back to my media bin, images, text to image. This is DALL-E. So this will create images that you tell it to based on a prompt. So hand-drawn image of a robot driving a Tesla. And the trick I just mentioned or just heard the other day that's really given me a lot better results is using hand-drawn. Because I used to always try to say photorealistic or high res or something like that, and I never got really good results. But once I started doing hand-drawn, I got a lot better. That one's not really hand-drawn looking. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of like a little tiny Tesla. It's cool though. You could use that as your, it's a square, it's a 1x1. So you could use this as your cover art on a podcast or something if you wanted. That's not legal advice. I don't know the copyright considerations with this, but you could generate something original in that manner. And then of course you can go into Unsplash, photos, etc., and find things that way. What else? Is there any AI stuff? Other than going to Ask AI here, you can also access from just this first level menu of actions. There's remove filler words. and shorten word gaps, as well as add scenes by active speaker. But that's only if you have multiple mics. You have like multiple layers for different speakers, and then it'll use AI to chop up your video like that. What else? Well, there's studio sound, which wouldn't really help on this video because it's already an AI voice. But studio sound, if you haven't played with it, is really awesome for removing things like echo. If you have a poor recording environment, or just kind of, it just makes your voice sound a lot better in most cases. Sometimes it doesn't do well, but your results may vary. To enter write mode, like if I want to make changes to this script now that it's been generated, I can click on this button right here, and now this stuff will be editable. Somebody was asking me this in the comments recently. So then I can just, when I'm in write mode, everything is changeable in here. I can highlight a full sentence, delete it, whatever, just like that. And then when I hit done writing, it's pulsing again because it's going to redo the AI voice. And keep in mind, the reason that worked is because this is an AI voice. If it was an actual track, an actual video, it wouldn't work the same way. I wouldn't be able to, if I did the delete, it would delete the corresponding video with the spoken portion of it as well. And I couldn't just regenerate new words like that. I could regenerate words in a different way by highlighting it and saying replace and then overdub or record, which would allow me to record on top of those words. But I can't just go into write mode like I showed you. And one thing you can do is, if you have like a script generated here, like let me just generate a new one. I'm gonna say ask AI, brainstorm ideas with me about a script for a YouTube video about the latest laptop. I don't know. It didn't come up with anything. Let me start over, run that again. There we go. So each of these are the ideas, future trends in laptop technology to look out for. I'm going to copy that, close, actions, ask AI, write a script, and I'm going to say, so the prompt is draft a script that's meant to be spoken out loud and recorded about ... I'm going to paste in. Oh, my video froze. I heard. Thank you for telling me. Let me see if I can do something about that. That's weird. Okay, well, I apologize. I think my laptop or my stream here is having issues. Yeah, thank you. I can see that the screen share is, maybe I can let me try this. Restart capture maybe. There we go. Okay, we're back. I had to refresh it. So here's the script it came up with about future trends in laptop technology, and that's fine. I'm not too worried about the content. I'm gonna hit add to script. There it is. So I think I was gonna show you that I could just edit these. So while it's blue, I can just type in here and say, instead of hello, I could say hi, everyone. Whoops, hang on. Gotta go into write mode, this feather icon at the top, and say hi, everyone, and then hit done writing. And this is, oh, I remember what I was gonna tell you. Sorry, I got off. Oh, there's an echo, hang on. Okay, that should have fixed it. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you letting me know. And let me know if it's fixed or if it's still echoing. So now that I have this script written, and you could type in your own script here. I'll go back to write mode. I could say, this is my script, and I can do done now. And then I could use this. I could come to the recorder. I could do audio only, or I could do camera. I could do any of these, doesn't matter. And I could say record into script. And I hope this doesn't crash my stream here. Let's see if this will work. Okay, I'm recording. So then I can just read this. Hi everyone, today we'll be discussing the future trends in laptop technology that you should keep an eye on. In the rapidly evolving world of technology, laptops continue to play a crucial role in our daily lives. As we look ahead, there are some exciting developments and innovations that are set to reshape the landscape of laptop technology. And I'll stop it. And it's transcribing. And it's going to push out my, well, I'll show you how this will look when it's done transcribing. But the important thing here is, like, this could be your teleprompter. This script that it generated or that you wrote in here yourself could become your teleprompter. And yeah, it keeps it all in one place. So yeah, there's the words I just said. And if I was reading it, if I had a video component to it, I could apply eye contact to it so that it looks like my eyes are looking straight at the camera. And yeah, it's a pretty effective way to do that. So we're down to our last minute here. If anyone has any questions, please drop them in the chat. I don't mind going over. I have the last few days. But the last thing I'll show you is my course, my new free course, which is an email campaign, email drip, where for 7 days you get a lesson every single day walking you through a project. And I have a project assigned for you in the course, or you can use your own project. And then yeah, every single day you learn a different skill, and then you'll apply it to the project until by day 7, you're at the stage where you're ready to publish and export your finished, let me scroll down, I think it's out of the frame, your finished project, and it's free. So feel free to sign up, and I hope to see you in one of, I also do tutoring, one-on-one tutoring, and I have a paid course as well. So hope to see you in something, and I'm doing another live stream tomorrow. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.